Hello everyone. Today I'm going to present a research about needle-free diabetes care technology. New data from the 2019 Diabetes Care Tech Host model finds that the rate of diabetes and prediabetes continue to rise. Currently, 1 in 3 Canadians has diabetes or prediabetes. Previous research showed that those 20 years of age today face a 50% chance of developing diabetes in their lifetime. In diabetes mellitus, insulin insufficiency prevents sugar from leaving the blood and entering the body cells, where it is used to produce energy. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease and requires patients to monitor their blood glucose several times a day by pricking a finger to draw blood. At a minimum, patients test before each meal and bedtime, but many test up to 12 times a day. That's why the need of needle-free device has become a necessity for all the patients that need to monitor their blood glucose through 24 hours. The Freestyle Libre Flash Glucose Monitoring System is the first product in the flash glucose monitoring category and is designed to liberate people with diabetes from many of the hassles of glucose monitoring, such as routine finger pricking. The Freestyle Libre system has two main pieces. One Freestyle Libre sensor, which automatically measures your blood glucose level and stores the data for an 8-hour period. Every time you scan the sensor with your reader or smartphone app, the glucose data is transferred from the sensor to your chosen device within 1 second. Once you are finished with the sensor, after the 14-day period, you simply dispose of it. And 2, Freestyle Libre Reader is a handheld reader that shows your glucose reading and can store the data for 90 days, which gives you the chance to analyze patterns and trends. When you move the reader over the sensor, it shows up a current glucose reading and the last 8 hours of data, as well as a trend arrow. This trend indicates whether your glucose may rise, go down, or stay steady. The Libre reader is held near the sensor when the glucose reading is needed. The reader device will then display the past 8 hours of glucose information, including current glucose, a trend graph, and a trend arrow. The arrow indicates the direction and the velocity of the patient's current glucose level. This technology is factory calibrated, and patients do not have to calibrate with blood sample glucose meter readings. The Freestyle Libre Flash Glucose Monitoring System is indicated for measuring interstitial fluid glucose levels in adults aged 18 years or older who have at least 2 years of experience in self-managing their diabetes. In case of hyperdiabetes, it is always important to double-check your blood sugar, and if you feel like something is not right, then test with your finger too. When it comes to driving with a Freestyle Libre monitor, it is important to note that in most countries, it is not approved as an official reading of your blood sugars. So, you are still required to do blood prick tests before you drive a car. This is true of UK alone. Treatment decisions should be based on the combination of sensor glucose reading, the glucose trend arrow, and glucose graph. Under the following circumstances, the blood glucose meter must be used to check the current glucose readings from the Freestyle Libre Flash Glucose Monitoring System sensor. First, during times of rapidly changing glucose levels, interstitial glucose levels are measured by the sensor and reported as current may not accurately reflect blood glucose levels. When glucose levels are falling rapidly, glucose reading from the sensor may be higher than blood glucose levels. Conversely, when glucose levels are rising Rapidly, glucose readings from the sensor may be lower than blood glucose level. Second, in order to confirm hypoglycemia or impeding hypoglycemia as reported by the system's glucose messages. And third, if symptoms do not match the Freestyle Libre Flash glucose monitoring system reading. Symptoms that may be due to low blood glucose must not be ignored. The Freestyle Libre has come as an entirely new concept in glucose monitoring by providing much greater data than blood glucose testing, whilst being more affordable than CGM, continuous glucose monitors. As we mentioned above, due to the way Libre works, there are a number of benefits like displays percentage of time your sensor glucose readings were within, above, or below your target glucose range. Shows a reading lower than 17 milligrams per deciliter or a minimum of 15 minutes in 4 different 6-hour periods of the day. The MyFreestyle website also offers coupons, codes, and payment plans to help with the cost of the Freestyle Libre. It is just being announced that Abbott are releasing a second Freestyle Libre. This will enable optional alarms thanks to Bluetooth. It will offer customizable alarms for low and high glucose and a technical feature that notifies the user of signal loss. Patient emergency acute diabetes events and all-cause hospitalization in patients with type 2 diabetes. And 3. Utilization of continuous glucose monitoring is associated with reduction in inpatient and outpatient emergency acute diabetes events, regardless of prior blood test strip usage. Latest studies demonstrate meaningful outcomes for people with diabetes, such as 1. Sustainable hemoglobin A1C decrease at 12 months for adults with type 1 and type 2 diabetes using the Freestyle Libre system. 2. Freestyle Libre system is associated with reduction in inpatient and outpatient emergency acute diabetes events and all-cause hospitalization in patients with type 2 diabetes. And 3. Utilization of continuous glucose monitoring is associated with reduction in inpatient and outpatient emergency acute diabetes events, regardless of prior blood test strip usage. Freestyle Libre needle-free system because, genetically speaking, my chances to have diabetes in the future are higher due to a family diabetes history. My grandfather was diagnosed with diabetes at 45 years of age, and recently my father is being treated for type 2 diabetes. For more, both my in-laws had diabetes and were treated with insulin. Me and my husband used to monitor their blood sugar levels during the day, and I remember very well that they used to complain about being pricked several times a day. I wish we had Freestyle Libre system at the time, just to relieve their pain a little bit. I totally agree that Freestyle Libre system is improving healthcare in Canada by making the lives of millions of people with diabetes easier. This product offers the latest feature like no calibration needed, benefits of low and high glucose alarm, and quicker glucose level results. For more, it has a lower cost in comparison with other needle glucose systems and discovered in some provinces. I decided to make researches about freestyle needle-free system because